This video is designed to support a step up to social work students who have installed Microsoft Office 2010 on their laptops or on their PCs and trying to work out how to use OneNote 2010. Now, in doing so, I took the view that actually it's probably a good idea to show you how to use OneNote 2010 by actually using it in the video. So I have my own copy of OneNote running, and also I have OneNote 2010 running online on my own SkyDrive. The other assumption I make is that you've created yourself a Windows Live account. Now, the best thing to do to start off with is to review what Microsoft Office themselves have designed as a support for Microsoft OneNote 2010, and they've made this excellent resource. It's called Making the Switch to OneNote 2010, but it's here at this address, which I've shortened into a bit.ly address for you so that it's easier to note. If you'd like to, just pause the video now, copy that down, and you'll be taken to this resource, which is called Making the Switch to OneNote 2010. There are a series of 8 videos, each of which is simply excellent. And if you haven't reviewed these yet, please do so now before viewing the rest of this video. Okay, now here's my own local version of a OneNote file which I've used to plan my video. Now, because the Microsoft support sessions or support videos are so good, I've decided to have a look at some of the issues that you might face when being online and having a version of the same file open on your laptop. I classify those issues as gotchas. Let's start with the first one, shall we? If you want your operating system to index the content all the time, in other words, you be able to search for text within your OneNote files, you need to keep all of those files open all the time. Up to now, Microsoft Office files were indexed when the system was idle. You probably didn't notice that, no real reason to notice it, but Office or Microsoft Office is indexed when the system is idle, and enabling you to search for documents really very quickly. This facility, for some reason, it depends on you keeping your OneNote files open all the time. Now, if you've got a PC with a limited amount of random access memory and a limited size of a processor, you might find that this actually slows your machine down just a little bit. That's perhaps not as important as the second issue. There are substantial differences between the online version and the local version of files. Let me show you. This you're looking at the moment is the local version. In other words, it's running on my hard disk. Here's the same version, or same file, when you're running it online. Look, there it is, it's running online at that URL. But if you notice straight away, look, it says this page contains items that cannot be displayed in OneNote web app. Open this notebook in Microsoft OneNote to see all the content. Well, it doesn't take a genius to work out that if you can't put what you want actually on the web, then there are quite substantial implications for sharing. If you want to have a look at what isn't shared, let's just switch to the web app. Here we go. Look, that's what it is. I've just put in a little bit of handwriting and that's not visible, and neither is this arrow. So if you're in a situation where you want to share resources one with another, it's probably not a good idea to insert objects like a sketch or indeed handwriting. Now let's have a look at the next issue. If you're running XP as an operating system, and I am at the moment, you can't synchronize your SkyDrive with your local hard disk sometimes. Let's just put a series of random letters in here, okay, and let's try and see whether the word random letters occurs on the Video 1 Gotchas tab online. Well, the way to do that is to check in online and then click on that tab. There we go, loading. There it is. There's the word random letters. It's interesting because that's a failure which is, or a gotcha which has been acknowledged by Microsoft Office to be the case. So it's one of those things where sometimes the issue occurs and sometimes it doesn't. And actually I'm quite pleased about that. Right, now the next gotcha is this. If, like me, you prefer to run the browser Chrome, you can't right-click and add to OneNote as you can in Internet Explorer. Look, let me just show you. Let's get into Chrome browser. If you're in a different page, let's say Google, like this, okay. If you're running in Internet Explorer, you can just right-click now and add to OneNote. But as you can see, it's not one of the options here. What you need to do is install the Internet Explorer emulator, if you like. That's this one here in Chrome. Now, once you've done that, you can right-click and there it is, look, send to OneNote. And finally, be very careful if you have a dual monitor setup. It's very easy to get confused in viewing what you see online, this, with what's actually running on your local hard disk, in other words locally. And I find that sometimes I've typed things into OneNote online and forgotten that actually I had intended to type it into my local version. So to sum up then, try to remember, if you want to search in your notes, you need to keep your files open, or your books open. There is a difference between the online and local version. You need to be really careful about that if you're sharing and cooperating. Sometimes, if you're running XP, the synchronization fails. If you prefer to use Chrome, as many people do because it's so fast, you can't right-click and add to OneNote. So you just need to install the Show in IE tool. And be careful if you've got a dual monitor set up, in other words 2 monitors. Remember, type only in one resource, not both of them, because you'll lose track of what's been put where.